Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Player Issue Podcast, Cave Sessions, episode 18. I believe we're up to now. I am your host, Aaron Warwick. I have a couple of special guests with me today. Not sure I really want to show on my screen, actually, because they are wearing the maroon and the yellow. G'day to Tommy and Dermot. How are we, lads?
Good. How are you guys?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, fucking real excited. I swear Em's never excited when we start this show. You guys just had a win, and that's all you're going to give me.
Well, the 4 points is all that counts. It was a pretty poor win, but it was.
I'm not sure if I should be insulted by that. You know, I've been reading a few so since we left the game. So just so you know, I'm just going to pull my thing up here. It's a bit low. Just so you know, we've just come from Fremantle versus Brisbane, in which these lads just had a 4-point or 3-point victory over the Freo lads. And I thought it was a pretty good game. Freo put in a pretty good effort, played pretty well. And all I could read on the way home was, or the way when we got home was, Brisbane looked shit and Brisbane didn't play well because, you know, they only just got over the line against Freo, a shit Freo side. Yes, they have been very shit this year, but I thought we actually played pretty well. Played 2022 style footy. But apparently we're just shit because we just managed to lose the game against you guys. But I thought the game was really good. It was really exciting footy. But just you guys were just too strong. So in the end, you got the chocolates.
Look, it was definitely good to see a close game. Got to give Freo credit; they were good today.
There we go. Thank you.
But yeah, I don't think we've played up to scratch the last 2 to 3 weeks. But hopefully, come into finals, we can pick up a bit and get a bit better.
There was a guy actually that's sitting just to our right up. You weren't too far away from us, damn it. So don't know if you heard him, but this dude was standing up, just chanting the lines constantly. Some dude was getting into him back. And he was not making much sense with the shit that he was hurling back at the Freo lads because he was just like, have you guys ever played finals footy before? People are yelling out, you're going out in straight sets anyway, so don't get too excited. Because have a little bit of a habit of going out a bit early in the finals in the last few years. So what's going on there, lads? What, you feeling a bit more confident this year?
I don't know. If we're gonna do it, it's got to be this year. I reckon this year or next year. Otherwise, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think our window closes after this year. To be honest, we can't do it. It's got to be changed from the head with maybe coaching something like that to pull us through a bit.
So you reckon it comes from the head coach? Head coach it's got to change. Do you reckon he's just not tough enough? Or
yeah. I think he doesn't. He just doesn't quite have that edge that we need. I think I don't know. He's played a few silly moves this year. Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't actually see what you were talking about earlier when we were talking about the Brisbane and Melbourne game. I was watching the actual game itself, but I wasn't really paying attention to the tactics or anything like that. But you told me that Gunston was chucked down the back.
Yeah. What, 5-10 minutes into the last quarter, he pushed Gunston back, and we just played a hack forward game against Melbourne, one of the best intercept teams in the comp, and it just didn't work. Yeah.
Yeah, for the last 10 minutes.
It's funny what happens when they put him forward like they did today, and he took over the game, and he pretty much almost won the game off his own boot. Bastard. But no, they did play well. Brisbane were really good. Who were your 3-2-1 today, lads? What do you reckon? Who was your 3-2-1?
I'd go probably Berry. Look, I think Schultz had a really good game. And who gets the one? I'll let you choose the one, Tim.
Yeah, I'll probably agree on that so far. The one, yeah, maybe Gunston. Like he did play pretty good, but I think there's actually quite a few players that probably could take that one spot.
Yeah, it was just a good game of footy all around. And I'm very Freo biased, so I didn't really pay a huge amount of attention to what the Lions players were doing. But I did notice Gunston was killing us. And I think Hayden Young did a cracker of a job today on Lockie Neal.
Yes,
Kept him really tight and got a lot of possessions himself. Don't know what he ended up with, but he had 22 at halftime or something like that. So he was having a cracker of a game. Absolute gun midfield of the future, I think. But Brisbane's just too strong all around the field. So you lads are tall. Like just watching the pre-game, I can't remember who it was warming up down the back. Just massive, like real tall lads, just solid bodies. So I can understand why teams can't get through you sometimes because you're just so damn big. And then you go look at the other end, same thing. You got a couple of tall lads in Hipwood and Danaher, and then you got the little buzzbox and Charlie Cameron buzzing around, and he's hard to stop. Like Jordan Clark's probably one of the quickest players in the league, and he could not keep up with Charlie today. Ridiculous. What do you got, Dermot?
Yeah, well, Charlie's pretty quick. I think we're pretty tall. I don't think we're huge though across the whole field. Payne had a few slip ups as well, so we had one that I can remember, and I thought, what's he doing here? The back line probably actually still needs a bit of work.
Yeah, right.
In all honesty, I think that's what actually probably lets us down.
Yeah, I agree. It's just our defensive work across the field really lets us down. We don't run both ways hard enough all game. And
very early on in the game, I noticed your transition now to defense, the defensive 50, you were hitting the far side of the field just constantly because Liam Henry was out there, and it just seems like they were picking on Liam Henry constantly, just getting off him and just running because he couldn't keep up. I think eventually he's managed to sort it out, but it was a bit scary watching the start of the game. I thought you guys were going to run away with it because you just had that open side of the field just constantly running into it. It was a bit scary to watch. Just didn't seem to take advantage of it after that first quarter, but thankfully. Now, before we get too far, Dermot, you just mentioned something and you've just brought it back to me, and it was fantastic. You mentioned slip up.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, most clubs probably do it where people race the signage on what it is, but they have a couple of people lined up on the 50s, so 50 to 50, and one of them runs with the ball, bounce it, and then hand it off to the next person. They run and bounce. Now, generally, they smoke it because they've slowed it down that much that you can't lose. At least that's what happens with Freo anyway. But today, got off to a terrible start. The woman who started first couldn't have beaten the slowest person on earth. She was just snailing it. And she had bounced it before she even started. She didn't need to bounce it. So she could have just hammered through. Did not. Just crawled. So it was not off to a good start. And I thought, all right, hand it over to the bloke, and he's just going to power it home. That didn't get off to a good start at all. As soon as he took off, he bounced the ball, and it went haywire. Anyone who haven't touched AFL football before, you'd probably understand if you try and bounce that thing, it may not come back to you the way you want it to. He's never bounced a footy by the looks of it because it's gone the wrong way. And he's gone to pick it up, and he's run into the fence. And as he's bent to pick it up, he's face planted, just gone down like a heap of shit. And everyone, 37,000 people there, laughing their ass off. He's got up. Credit to him. He's got up, gone to pick up the ball. Down he goes again. It's just legs going everywhere. The thing that they're racing against is already finished. He's not got off the ground yet. Gets up and goes, and he's just all over the place. It's probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen at the footy. Behind us, hello Em. She just couldn't stop losing her shit. She thought it was the greatest thing of all time.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was, definitely funny.
We'll have to see if we can try and get footage of that because it's probably one of the greatest moments of the footy that I've ever seen. Speaking of the footy, Dermot, you had a good day today. Now, you had a great day just watching your Lions win. However, you were having a great time.
Yeah, I did.
Up until you having a little bit too much fun.
Oh, apparently.
You got to tell us a story here, Dermot. What happened?
So I was at the footy, and I actually can't remember who kicked the goal. It might have actually been Gunston. And I stood up to celebrate, and old mate behind me, Freo supporter, started tapping my shoulder. And he goes like, sit down. And I was like, oh, this is a bit rough. Like, I'm just trying to celebrate a good goal. And he went on to say that I was too loud and that he can't see what's going on. And I just told him that it's a competitive sport and I'm supporting my team. And he wasn't very happy about it, but I'd been doing it all game until we probably got 2 goals up there in that last quarter, and then he I don't know what it was, but I wasn't happy about it. Because like if he asked me nicely, I would have been all right with it, but it was the way he went about it, probably. So. Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, you told the story to us much better than that because
Yeah.
you were fired up.
I was. Yeah.
Fired up straight after the game. Come over. And I swear it was the first thing you told us as you walked up to you. This fucking bloke down here just having a good time. The next minute, just tap, 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 tap. Shocker of a day for you, isn't it?
Yeah, that ruined it. Having a good day.
Then you went out and met Tommy, and you were just frazzled at that moment. You're just like, oh, sorry, who are you? I'm lost.
No, it was came up to me and I was like, what? Who's this guy?
I can't say I've ever been told to sit down in the footy before. So
that's why I don't think you can tell people to sit down in the footy. But just not a rough. How weird. I don't think anybody else has ever had that probably, but
it was a good day. Tommy, you're sitting in the cheer squad, were you not?
Yep. I was in the cheer squad. I sit there every game. I don't know. It's just what my family does. We've always done it for years and years.
Yeah.
So I take my kids along to the cheer squad too, and hopefully they'll take their kids.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you've just flown over from Melbourne.
Yep.
Saturday morning.
Yep. I flew
Saturday
in
morning.
Saturday morning.
And you're heading back in. Well, you're leaving here in 2 hours' time.
Yeah, a couple of hours. Yeah.
So short turnaround. You're not here for a long time, just a good time.
Yeah, that's right. Always a good time.
So you go to all the games, obviously, when they come over to in Melbourne?
Always in Melbourne, every game. I don't think I've missed one for probably 10 years at least.
Mm-hmm.
I try to get up to a couple of games up at the Gabba every year too.
So is that what they would call the interstate cheer squad? It would be where you sit. Is it called the interstate?
Yeah, so Brisbane's got a Melbourne cheer squad and a Queensland cheer squad.
Yeah.
I don't know why the two are separate, but that's just the way we operate. The Melbourne cheer squad generally does the Adelaide games and stuff. WA, we don't really have a cheer squad over here. It's just usually a mix of whoever comes over. That's about all.
I didn't actually see the start. Well, I did because we were chilling at the bottom of the stairs eating our lunch before we went up to the seats. But did you guys have a banner today?
No, we didn't have a banner today. No. I think occasionally we get one in Adelaide, and that's about as far as it comes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So is that something that you would normally organise with somebody as part of the interstate members mob that you would organise to see if you can get a team together, make a banner? And
yeah, definitely. There's there's a head of the cheer squad, each section, Brisbane and Victoria, and generally they organise all the banner making. That's usually done midweek before the game, and then so they transport them over to Adelaide sometimes.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of effort goes into it. There's definitely heaps of work done behind the scenes.
Pity you couldn't get one done today.
It'd be good, for sure.
Did you came out? Was it last year or the year before you?
Last year I came over as well. Yeah. I don't think there was one then either.
Yeah, okay. I suppose it is a long way to come. I mean, people obviously like yourself coming from Melbourne and say it's not as far because it's still a long bloody way and costly. But coming from Brisbane can be very difficult. So I can understand why it doesn't happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Sad. That'd be really cool. Because I don't think I've seen other clubs, like pretty much every other club that I've seen will have a fair large group there of cheer squad members doing the banner. So
yeah, okay.
I don't know if I've seen another team not have a banner this year, actually.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Maybe that's something, something like behind the scenes in the club that them organising it a bit more. And I know there's not a lot of, say, funding and help from the club to do it. Yeah. A lot of it comes off the back of the people, the members of the cheer squad.
Yeah,
they putting in a lot of the yards and paying for materials and stuff like that too. So
yeah. What's the membership like in Victoria? Like, obviously, yourself, you grew up a Fitzroy fan, right? So you're originally a Fitzroy fan,
Fitzroy.
and you didn't. Well, you made the jump, I guess, to Brisbane when they moved over to Brisbane Lions. What's that like? I mean, we've had this discussion with a couple before, so I didn't drink anyone else's takes. But what's it like jumping from Fitzroy, who you've been all your life, to following an interstate club? I guess.
Yeah, look, it was definitely hard. I was very reluctant at first. I was still quite young, and I jumped over to Melbourne for a year. But soon realised the old man wouldn't take me to watch Melbourne play, so it was going to Brisbane after that. And yeah, no, I've stuck with Brisbane since then. Also, Kevin Murray, good man, always says, if Brisbane's good enough for me, it's good enough for any of us. And yeah, he's the people's person, so you got to listen to Kevin.
Good old Bulldog, Kevin Murray. Damn it, you've only just been born, so as far as your allegiance to the Brisbane Lions, how did that come about? I mean, you are born and bred WA, I assume.
Yeah.
Yep. How did it become that you decided to follow we couldn't get any further on the other side of Australia?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So my dad is a Brisbane Bears supporter originally, and my mum was a Fitzroy supporter. So it ended up just being like, I was born, and then it was like I have to go for the Lions because these two clubs have already merged. So it actually worked out really perfect like that. So it's not really I didn't really have to pick one between the two. So.
It's actually, I don't even think I've met a born-bred Brisbane Lions supporter as far as from Brisbane. So, like, even Rob, who we've had on the show before, Rob Verhoeven, also from Melbourne originally, being a Fitzroy lad, and followed the club over. So I haven't actually met, a homegrown Brisbane Lions supporter. It's kind of weird. Yeah. Well, anyway, really, but I'm sure I would if I went to the Gabba.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting being almost not an expansion club, but there's a merger club, right? There's not too many mergers happen ever, like South Melbourne and Swans. There's not too many really, so.
No, definitely not. I'm not sure South Melbourne and Swans merged. I think they were just relocated, weren't they? I think South Melbourne was just created.
Correct.
So I think Brisbane Fitzroy, the only merged club in the comp.
Didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it's definitely different, but it's got its ups and its downs too. Sometimes the supporters will squabble amongst each other. Just oh, Brisbane, no, we should be wearing Bears jumpers. No, we should be wearing Fitzroy jumpers. It's at the end of the day, we need to band together. We're one club now. It's long in the past, 25 years ago, and we just need to keep going, move forward, and
fair call. Yeah, good call. Now, I was actually before we move on. What? I haven't got any more stories. You're right, damn it. You are wearing something very interesting. Now, I spotted something in the crowd, and as I looked to my left down the stairs, and I spotted this jumper. I was like, "Oh, look at that!" And I've just gone to Am. I was like, "Look!" And as soon as I saw the back of your head, I knew it was your filthy head. And
good.
I saw you lean forward, and I saw the number 16. Oh, I've just given it away now, but saw the number on the back, and I knew exactly who it was.
Yeah.
And I sent you a photo. I've just taken a photo from distance and gone, "Who's this muppet wearing a Jonathan Brown heritage jumper to the footy?" Now, your thoughts, damn it, because we've had this discussion many times before. Thoughts on wearing player issue jumpers to the footy, but not just player issue jumpers, quality player issue jumpers. Yeah. And what was your thought?
So I do promote it a little bit. Obviously, I'm very careful with it. I think there's a difference, like wearing it to the footy and like appreciating it, and then just wearing it to the footy and having no idea and I don't know, spilling tomato sauce all over it. So I think there's that aspect of it as well. And no, I think I do like seeing player issues around. I think it just makes you a little bit better than everybody else.
That's a good comment. I like that.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, I'll say it as well. I'm like, why are people wearing player issue jumpers to the footy? But then I go and I'm searching for them because I'm like, I'd love to see them. which is weird because I'm like, why are you wearing that? But good job wearing that. It's really a weird mindset. But Tommy, what are your thoughts on wearing player issue jumpers?
Yeah, look, it's not something I'd personally do. There's probably not many that'd fit me, to be honest. But I like to preserve them, keep them intact, make sure they're in quality condition all the time. But in saying that, I do enjoy spotting them out as well. It's always good to see them out and about, see who's got what, and maybe later on down the track we could purchase that or anything like that.
Did you see many today, other than the old Dermot here?
I did see another one. It was somebody else you might know as well.
It's funny actually. In the car on the way home, Tommy's gone, I also saw a Simon Black training jumper. Oh yeah, that was sitting next to me. That was Josh. So Jesus, as we call him, Josh, the long-haired hippie, was wearing a Simon Black trainer. I actually was giving you shit about wearing that, and he's just leant forward and go, "What about this?" I couldn't say anything after that, but yeah. Show the people, Dermot. Give them a good look.
Yeah,
the jumper.
Of course,
you need to see it. So explain to us what it is for those who don't know what it is.
It's 06 Heritage.
06 Heritage. May not be able to hear you because you're a bit far from the mic, but
actually, Jonathan Brown ended up playing his games.
He didn't. No, I don't believe he did. It's a player issue. I've actually seen not just this, but a couple of them floating around. So, I'm sure this is the last home for it now, right?
It is, yeah. Because I also have the 2014 Hall of Fame, which is the home variant of this. So it's the complete opposite of Jonathan Brown's as well. So yeah, those two together are pretty cool.
So is that what you want to do? You want to collect the heritage, or you just Jonathan Brown, or what is it? Yeah,
so it's at the moment, I want to finish the heritage round. Brisbane Heritage Round. Not the Hall of Fames yet. I have a few, but not enough to pursue it. I also would like to complete the Anzac Brisbane's as well. So.
Very nice. And how many you got of those?
The Anzacs? I got 3 out of 6. So halfway there.
Halfway there? Yeah. It's not too bad. Well, 3 I've only got 1 Anzac, so I'm sorted. Don't know why they've never done another one, but there you go. It's a bit weird.
Do you have the Anzac socks?
No, I do not.
All right. I've got a pair of those at home. Yes.
I didn't even know they had Anzac socks.
No, so I think it was... What year was it? I think it was 2019, maybe.
Okay.
We didn't have an Anzac jumper. We just did Anzac socks.
Oh, right.
They're just red and blue, but they've red poppies on them instead of just plain red.
That's better than nothing, right? Wow. Yeah. I like that. It's a cool idea. Now, you're also wearing a rather nice jumper there, Tommy. I quite like that jumper, actually. You rocked up. Another funny story, actually. Tommy actually called when he arrived this morning at 11 a.m. this morning. Calls me and says, I'm here. I'm out the front. I was like, all right, cool. I'll meet you out the front. So I walk out the front and I look. There's no Tommy. There's literally nobody. It's ghost town out here. I walk out the front. I'm just like, well, maybe he's down the road. Look down the road and there's about 10 houses down. He's walking up the street around the corner. What happened?
I don't know what happened. I just saw the wrong number when Aaron sent me his address. I went to the wrong house. Luckily, no one answered the door there either. So
did you actually ring the bell?
I went and knocked. I rang the bell. That's when I called you. I'm like, he's not answering. What's going on? Like, I've been standing here for about 5 minutes. Well, yeah,
I didn't even know that.
And then I open up my messages and I'm like, that's what's wrong. Wrong number.
That is gold. Those also may be thinking, Tommy, I know that name from somewhere, or maybe you've heard or spoken to, maybe. You also admin a page that we are all very familiar with.
I do, yes. Yeah.
Which page is that?
The AFL Match Worn Player Issue page.
One we talk about on this show more often than any other page. So, love that page. Great job. How many followers is there right now? 5,000 plus?
I think we've just clicked over 7,000.
Jesus. And it's not even that old, really, is it? 'Cause
No,
it
it's
was an
only
older page, and then this one got made, and then that one just kind of took over all of them.
yeah. So I think would it be just over 3 years now? I think.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
I haven't admin from the start. I did get asked by one of the boys to jump on with them, and I just jump on and give them a hand where I can. Yeah, it look it's a fairly good page. There's not a lot of issues. It's pretty easy work to admin on.
Yep.
So yeah, it's not too bad.
Good. Do you get a lot of weird, random questions just sent to you as an admin?
To be honest, no, we don't really get many. We just most of it's just dealing with such and such as I think they're ripping me off or that I've think I've been scammed here, and
Yeah.
we just do our best to sort it out.
Yeah.
I think 95% of the time usually gets sorted.
Yeah.
Yeah, apart from that, that's about all that's involved. That and accepting new requests.
Yeah. I guess the hard thing about these admin or being an admin of these pages is that people think that you're almost an authority figure, like you're a police officer. Like you can actually do something about some of these things that these people ask. It's like, man, there's only so much I can do. Like,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, definitely. Some people think, oh yeah, they'll be able to get my money back or whatnot. But at the end of the day, our best, we suggest ways to deal with it, and we'll get in touch with the other person, or and try and sort it out. And if we can't resolve it, then generally we just suggest, like, if you've been scammed, like the only thing you can really do is actually go to the police about it. There's not a lot we can do. We can ban the member, but we can't.
Yeah.
We can't recover your money for it or anything like that.
Has that happened much? Have you had to deal with much scam stuff?
Look, no, not really. There's probably only been 5 or 6 over the 3 or 4 years I've done it for. So it's pretty good group.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it is good group. It'd definitely be my favorite group to go on. Majority of the people are fantastic, and you'll find that most of the people have been around for a long time since the inception of it, and then there'll be the odd they'll just drop in and out quite often.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Have you noticed that a lot of people have kind of just come in for a short time, kind of maybe figure that it's probably a little bit more expensive or difficult than they first thought, and then they kind of just disappear?
Yeah, there's always those people coming into every group, really. I suppose they just join up and, they like to see what it's about. They find out and figure out that it's not for them.
Yep. Damn it. As I mentioned, you've freshly out of the womb. So
yeah.
When did you start collecting? You're only 19 now, 19, or are you still 18?
Yeah, 19.
You are 19, so you're almost an old man now.
Almost.
When did you start collecting? Why did you start collecting? And what was your first jumper?
Oh, so it would have actually been about 3 years ago, I reckon. And I started collecting retails. And then, I was collecting retails at the start. And then, anybody can pretty much get retails. So I thought I would have a little crack at these player issues. And I got a few. Quite liked them. Like, it's just a bit different than, retail. So I sort of hung off for ages. I had probably 3 or 4 for like a year or two, and then within probably the last like 18 months, it kind of took off from there. And I think my first player issue jersey was probably, I think it was an 07 Jed Adcock training worn. So
Which you tried doing a trade today for Simon Black training jumper.
Yeah, I tried. But didn't go as planned.
It's a shame that, isn't it?
Have you ever tried to do a deal at the footy before?
No, I've never had the opportunity.
No.
I did meet Jack once at the footy. We swapped a jumper.
Yeah.
But that was all pre-organised.
Yeah.
So that was about all.
Fair enough. Well, old Dermot here, the Brisbane / closet Freo supporter.
Yeah.
You got a jumper at the footy today.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. What was that?
It was Joel Hamling Freo debut Starlight, which is 2017 jersey. So I was pretty stoked to get that.
Now, you would, I'm assuming here, probably have more Fremantle jumpers than you would Brisbane jumpers. Is that right?
Yeah, just quietly. It is pretty close. I do have more Brisbane jerseys, but Yeah, I do. Yeah, being a WA kid, I've got to give some sort of spot to Freo. Rather Freo than West Coast.
They're also easier to collect.
Yeah, well, yeah, they are, but that's not why. I think I do have a softer spot for Freo than West Coast. So
Yeah, good.
yeah.
Good choice. Now, while we're on the subject of jumpers and trading jumpers, I don't know if I've asked either of you this question or told you that it was a thing, but I was offered something today for that very jumper behind you, as a matter of fact, sitting behind Dermot's head. If you just move your head out the back there, Dermot,
Oh my
the
bad.
AFLW Grand Final jumper that's sitting up there on the locker. A few people have been wanting that quite heavily. I get quite a lot of messages about it, pretty constantly. Not just because it's Taylor Harris is probably going to go down as one of the marquee AFLW football players of all time, but it's the first AFLW Grand Final. It's very well worn. It's been signed. All that beautiful jazz. The heat press, unfortunately, the heat press logo, which I think they still are now, but they do have the felt like the AFL men's one as the Grand Final logo. But the numbers were still heat pressed back in 2017 as well. So thankfully, it does come with an AFLPA COA, but whatever. We all have our thoughts on those. But I've been offered many times, many different trades for that. Now, it's always been a very easy, hard no. And I've said on this podcast many times that if you ever have a 2017 Grand Final AFLW jumper, you should hold on to it for a long time because it's going to be valuable in the future. Or the competition is going to go in the dust and it's going to be worth fuck all, but you'll soon find out. Now, I got offered something during the week, which is the first time that's ever happened where I've actually been this close to taking the deal. And I've actually had to ask numerous people for their opinions, basically to talk me out of it because I was leaning yes. So I was offered cash plus a 2023 Will Ashcroft 03 anniversary jumper. Now I was this close, so close to doing it, but like I said, I had this in my head that I was always going to keep this in the collection. But an Ashcroft jumper. Now my thoughts were his match one went for $4,500 of that game, and so how much are these jumpers going to go for in future? And people are saying, oh, you're going to have plenty of opportunities because this is his first year. You're going to have plenty of opportunities to get one of his in the future, but it's going to be freaking expensive. So I was close, but I had to get people to talk me out of it to say that, keep the Taylor Harris because it could be worth a fortune. And it's not even the worth to me. It's just, as far as the historical piece goes, that's as historical as it gets for an AFLW jumper at this point. So I did say no, but I was close. And I'm sure you'll come back with another offer at some point. What are your thoughts? Did I make the right decision?
Look, I think in Ashcroft, first year, he's probably going to go close to the rising star.
Mm.
And as you said, the match ones did sell for big money.
Mm.
I personally don't think there's any other PIs out there of his that in private collections anywhere either. So, it's a hard decision.
It is.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
I'd probably have done the trade, to be honest. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. That's my opinion.
Shit, damn it. What do you reckon?
Yeah, well, I'm probably on the other end of I'm probably on your end of the swing.
Okay.
Because sometimes, like, I've had jerseys that it's not even about the value. It's just I don't want to get rid of them, and so I can see that because I've also had the same thing where I've had really decent offers on things and like you consider it, but then like it's more of a knowing that you have that sort of so you don't want to get rid of it. So I understand that. So.
All right. Well, again, we're split 50-50. And then I had that overriding decision where I just couldn't make a decision. But thankfully, all the people I asked, they all said keep the Harris. And that was 3 straight decisions to say keep it. So it was difficult. Now, the only reason I was really on the fence about it is because you never know what happens. Like, it's his first year. He could get injured. He could have a career-ending injury next year. And that's it. I don't know if that would help the value of his jumpers, but there's obviously a lot less of them. But you never know. In this game, anything could happen, and either way, I'm probably going to regret it, to be honest. One day, if I get an Ashcroft in my collection, I'll probably never think about it ever again, and I'll be happy. But I just don't know if that's ever going to be a possibility at this point.
Yeah.
Now, Tommy, you were telling me earlier that you don't have any player issue AFL jumpers left in the collection.
No. I've actually basically I got one of every design, and
Yep.
after that, I sort of just decided to change directions. All of my jumpers are now either AFLX, State of Origin, All Australian jumpers. I've just slimmed it right back to that, and I don't know. I think that's where I'll push from here on. It also saves a lot of money because there's not a lot of them floating around to buy every year.
Yep.
Like now, like AFL jumpers, I can get 3 or 4 of them a year easily, whereas I might be lucky to find one of these.
Does that make it better or worse that Brisbane are maybe starting to bring out more jumpers, more availability, but maybe at this point it's obviously more expensive because people are just throwing money everywhere? Whereas in the future, once there's more and more availability, it's going to be a little bit cheaper, like it was, 6-7 years ago when you can pick them up on auction for $100 each. Will that maybe bring you back into the game if it becomes more affordable and easy to get?
Well, that's now that I've let a lot of them go, I probably don't think I'd step back into that. And I'm that kind of person. I've got to have the full collection or none at all. I can't just have it half. I've got to, I don't know. I probably just wouldn't do it.
Fair enough. Not even for a player? Like if someone offered you that Ashcroft, for instance, would that maybe swing you towards just having the one?
No, you see, I've actually got Ashcroft's training jumper from Sandringham Dragons last year. So
you filled
I've
your
already got the
Ashcroft
Ashcroft fill there. So that's. I don't think I need it. No.
Fair enough. I'm just trying to drag you back into the game,
Yeah.
We'll get you there. Dermot.
I'm still in the game. I'm still in it. I just have narrowed my sights.
Fair enough. What's your next steps, Dermot? What do you want to do? What do you want to get into the collection? Obviously, you said you want to get the Heritage and the Anzacs, but is there anything else you really want to get your hands on? Is there specific jumpers that you would really like to get, or is there a goal for the future?
I think there's a lot of short-term goals. So obviously finishing the Heritage and the Anzac, but long-term, I don't really know what it is until I guess I get a few more and I'll see how it goes. But I think it's just one of those things I have to see how it plays out, and half my luck with you getting rid of a few of yours helps me out quite a fair bit there. So we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
Those older jerseys are getting really hard to find, so the old Heritage ones still fetch a pretty good amount. And
yeah, definitely. It's definitely at its peak where the prices are making it very difficult to collect some of the better pieces. Much more difficult than it was 3 or 4 years ago. But I feel like it's teetering on the edge of coming down because the cost of living is getting out of control, and people don't have the money to throw around big dollars on jumpers anymore, I find.
Unless it's on the auctions for some reason.
True. I was also really shocked to pick up a Bulldogs retro. Bulldogs retro? No, that was not it. I picked up something the other day, but even watching the Bulldogs retro auction, which is already starting a couple of days in now, there are still jumpers that haven't got a bid on them $100 each. Now, I find that really surprising for a retro player issue match worn jumper. Like, there was a couple of match ones as well that are sitting there as well. So I don't know. Some of the clubs just don't go that high. Like Bont's last one, whatever auction that was, it went for about 800. It was like the highest jumper, which I'd be pretty happy if that was our highest at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
So I feel like they're coming down, or maybe it's just some clubs are just not quite there, the level of the collecting that some clubs are.
Yeah, well, I don't think anybody will top port. They're probably going to stay up there with value for a long time. Apart from that, I think it varies a lot with how well your team's playing, and how many collectors there are for that team.
Yeah,
really. Brisbane, when I started collecting, that was back in 2013, I believe. Like I could buy jumpers off the auctions for $100, and then there was other ones that nobody had bid on, and all sorts. So, but we've obviously gotten a lot better since then, and now it's hard to get anything decent for under $1,000.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's actually amazing how many jumpers you could pick up at the Brisbane team store for $100 that were just chucked in there. Like the Anzacs used to go in those team stores for $100 all the time. So yeah, gone are those days, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Sadly. Now I have a little discussion. There's another thing that you brought up, Tim, but I was actually going to talk about it before. Is open trainings. Now, Freo did an open training the last couple of weeks. I went along as I always do. Starting to get to a point where I think I'm just too old for them now. But also is because of the sign gate where kids are going holding up signs asking for people's boots, players' boots. We were talking about it earlier where it's just getting a little bit out of control. And I noticed that when I went to this open training that's all the kids were doing. Now they're probably directed by their parents, or a lot of them are anyway. Is stick up a sign and see if you can get some boots off these players. And it's a little bit nuts. So I went with a bag of jumpers, hoping to get some sign, but I didn't want to push these kids out of the way, so I'm not going to get too crazy. But they were just everywhere, and the fun and excitement that it had back in the day of going to these training sessions where you just to meet the players and get an autograph, take a photo, whatever, is almost gone on the wayside, where it's more of a game of seeing what you can get off the players, I felt anyway. And it threw me off. I didn't get any jumpers signed because I didn't want to get involved in that. So I kind of just backed off and just left. Now, you went to the Lions Open training yesterday, was it?
Yesterday. Yeah.
How was that?
Oh, yeah. Sort of a similar thing. I would agree that it's what can we get off the players? Which sucks because, like I'm not there to get it off the players. I'm there to almost, add to my collection and and also a way for the players to appreciate that their stuff's appreciated as well. And there was similar, with at the Lions.
Yeah.
Training with people just trying to see what they can get off the players and Neil being the big man, obviously, so the wanted one. So, yeah.
Did people have signs holding up asking for their boots or jumpers?
No, they didn't. But there was a lot of questions, and there was a lot of just signing of random stuff from Neil. Not sure why, but yeah. So I actually was pretty keen on meeting some of those big boys like Neil and Danaher, but when I saw that was going on, I don't know. I just was like, well, they're already having to deal with all these people harassing them, so I just sort of back off, which made it pretty hard for the jersey that I wanted to get signed as well, because I just felt like they thought I was one of these people that
yeah. It makes it hard because you go as a legitimate fan, just excited and want to get stuff signed, and you almost feel guilty for doing it because you're almost like, oh, what do they think I'm actually doing with this? So that makes it really, really actually difficult to just go and enjoy yourself. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of almost at the point where I just don't do that anymore. Thankfully, I do have some relationships with players, so I kind of just back off and I can get stuff done privately, which is fine, but it's not the same as going to the footy and enjoying the training day and getting your stuff signed and just going home happy. It's been lost now, unfortunately. Not quite as good as it used to be. Now, there's also a little thing where I said to you earlier, is you almost don't meet your heroes. So, damn it, you had a bit of an experience yesterday with a very famous Brisbane Lions player.
Yeah, which is half the thing as well with the whole well, it's probably not his fault, to be honest. It's probably his just normal reaction because people are probably just trying to use him for what they can get off him, which is probably half the problem as well, because I think that plays a massive part in what happened because of that. So
Tell us what happened. You met this player and you're a little bit disappointed. As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
you were very disappointed
I
that you
was-
actually met him.
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed. So I don't really want to name him. If that's all right. So yeah, I got him to. Yeah, that'll do. I got him to sign one of his jerseys. He was pretty reluctant at the start to even sign it. Not 100% sure why. Maybe people, his managers or something's told him, don't go out there and sign a whole bunch of stuff. But he ended up doing it. And as he was signing it, I was trying to hold it for him. And because at Claremont, there's no sort of barrier. There's just only the fence, so I had to hold it. And I accidentally let one of the corners go on the jersey, and he sort of had a crack at me about it. And I was like, I didn't really mean to let it go. And yeah, so sort of ruined the moment. I was like, yeah.
Do you look at him a little bit differently now, or you move on?
No, I do look at him a little bit differently, but then at the same time with everything that's going on at open trainings, with everybody just harassing him for what they can get out of him, it makes sense, because I'd probably, if I was in his boots, I'd probably react the exact same way.
Yeah, and I do find that that's often the problem is these open trainings are they go in with a little bit of different mindset, where it's get the things done, move on to the next. The personal thing's just not there. I had this discussion with someone the other day who came around here, was looking through the cave as well, about Nat 5. So some of the discussions I've had with Nat 5 at these open training sessions have been quick, very short, sharp, and not wanting to sign things that I've had for him. But then you get him in a different environment where it's not that sort of level of the sheer amount of people there. It's more of a personal thing, and they just have a completely different outlook and attitude. And so I feel like that's almost a real person, whereas the other person is almost an actor. It's business, and they just have to do what they got to do or what they're told. So they probably have been told to do certain things by their managers as well, like you say. It makes it really difficult, because then they come off looking like a dick, and then that's that experience you get, and you pass that on to other people. Oh, this guy's a dick, don't like him.
Yeah.
Whereas really, if you get him in a different environment, behind closed doors, just you and him, probably a completely different person. He's probably a super nice bloke. So that's really hard, because you'll have that feeling for a while.
Yeah.
Until you get a good experience out of him, which it's a bit sad.
It is, yeah. Yeah. Which is why I was quite impressed with Zorko, actually.
Mm-hmm.
He went out of his way to make it a really good experience and do what was right. And it was quite good of him, actually. Especially with the way the media portray him as, I don't know, the bad guy, sort of. I had low expectations with Zorko. Especially at the start of the open training, he just went straight out on the field, and everybody else was signing stuff already, and he just went straight out on the field. I think he was the only one that did that. And so I was like, wow, typical Zorko. But then, and actually, afterwards, it actually ended up being really good, and I was actually quite shocked by how good of a bloke he was.
Yeah, good. Very good. Tommy, have you had any experiences with players that you, either positive, negative, doesn't matter?
Oh, look, one of the worst experiences I've had is at these open trainings too. Brisbane used to hold them in Melbourne all the time before COVID come around. Anyways, that was when I attended last. And one of my earliest memories is everybody signing, all the players signing stuff, and seeing Tom Rockcliffe walk out the road. Didn't sign a thing for anyone. Yeah. Club captain.
Yeah.
Like that to me, that was poor.
Yeah.
Like there could have been things going on. I don't know. But that's, it didn't just happen once. It happened a couple of times. Yeah, so okay. I thought that was a bit weird. But apart from that, I think the players down in Melbourne, they do a really good job. I think a lot of the Brisbane boys are really good. Zorko especially, like down in Melbourne, he's the last one to leave signing. Like, right. He'll be there till every kid's got a signature. Hodgie played for us. He'd kick the footy with the kids till everyone was gone. They're pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and I mean, those sort of things, they change people's lives. It's crazy because they don't really need to do it, and they're not obligated to do it. But then they go out and do things like that, and it really does change people's lives. Kids will grow up remembering that forever, and we've seen it plenty of times where players who are playing now, they're often come in and their hero that they got to do that with back in the day is still playing, and they get to have that little weird experience where they're like, oh, back in the day, you did this for me, and they have a photo of it, which is quite often quite funny. It makes a huge difference on people's lives. So
Yeah, definitely does. It almost steer someone in the direction to what they want to do, where they want to go, and how far they want to go with their lives, and or their footy careers, or that sort of thing. It is brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got about 35 minutes left, so we're going to push it along because, like I said, Tommy's going to catch a plane out of here very shortly. We got a quick hands segment. So I don't know if you've seen the show, Tommy. I don't even know if you watched the show.
I haven't seen the cave sessions. I'll have to admit that.
You're gonna have to watch it.
I've listened to the earlier podcasts. I've got 5 kids, and time to sit and listen to something isn't something that I get a lot of time to do. When I'm in my car on the way to work, I literally don't have the radio on. I sit in silence. That's my quiet time, and that's about all the quiet time I get of a day.
Can't blame you with 5 kids. I mean, I don't know how you have time to do anything with 5 kids. So.
No, it's definitely hard work, but they're all good value in their own way. And I mean, somebody had to fill the cheer squad in Melbourne. So
my challenge to you is to get your 5 kids to sit down and watch the show with you.
All right, I'll give it a go. They could be interested in that.
There you go.
The eldest, she loves all the YouTubers and stuff. So
perfect. Well, you're a YouTuber now, so
yeah, that's right.
She doesn't have an excuse.
She'll probably have a watch, I reckon.
Excellent. Now, so Dermot, you have seen the show.
Yeah.
And we've got quick hands that M usually answers. I haven't even read these questions because we were all sitting here a few minutes before we started, and I just kind of copied and pasted and haven't actually read any of them. So they could be stupid. They could be all right. We'll see what happens. We'll take it in turns. First, Dermot, you can go first.
All right.
So, Tommy, this is just simply, I'm going to ask a question, and it should be a fairly quick, simple answer. Oftentimes, it's not, M. I thought you was filming us for a second there. All right, Dermot, the first question is for you. What is your go-to lazy dinner?
Oh, yeah, look, probably spag bog, to be honest.
Yeah. Tommy, what is your favourite thing to do in the summertime?
Swimming.
Dermot, how often do you floss?
Yeah, probably like once every 2 weeks. Yeah, about that much.
Good boy. Tommy, what is one of your nicknames?
Tommy.
That's it?
That's it, yeah. Simple as that, yeah. I don't really have any.
Got to think of something. Dermot, what was your major in college? Well, that's not a great question, but I mean, yeah, I guess it is. What did you do after school, high school? You did something, right? Some sort of course?
Well, yeah. I'm heavy diesel apprentice, so
heavy diesel
still doing
apprentice.
that. Yeah.
Still doing it, yeah. Tommy, what is the stupidest dare you've ever agreed to?
I've never really agreed to anything stupid. I was once paid $20 to put a jumper on at school that was picked up out of a puddle, but it was frozen. I had to put it on and leave it on for 5 minutes. So I did it. I was, 15 years old, and $20 was a lot of money back then. So I did it.
$20 is $20.
I guess that is kind of stupid, but it's also fantastic. Had to be done. Dermot,
Yeah, mate.
what item is worth spending more money on?
Oh, footy jerseys.
Not cars, because you have a whole garage full of cars.
Yeah. That's a hard one, actually. Between those two. But I'm probably more passionate about my footy jerseys before my cars.
All right. Tommy, is your bed made right now?
Yes.
Back in Victoria or here?
Here. At home, probably not.
Dermot, last question for you.
Yeah,
if you could afford any car, which one would you drive?
Yeah, HJ47, 19, like 83-ish, 84. 2H 5-speed. That's where I'd go.
A what? For those who aren't petrol heads, a what?
HJ47, so an old Land Cruiser.
Ah, yes, I can be with you.
Diesel. Yep.
Ah. You're all about your little Tonka trucks, really, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tommy, last question for you. Have you ever written a song for somebody?
Surely.
Ooh, no, I can't say I have. I'm not much of a musician myself. I don't even listen to a lot of music, really. It's just background noise to me.
Fair enough. That was quick hands, and that was better than I expected. Considering I didn't read any of those questions before, actually, not too bad. Next up, M, your favorite segment, and M's not even on the show. There you go. That's a habit and a half. M, your favorite segment next. It is Mail Day.
Mail Day.
Perfect. Here we go, fellas.
Now, M's got them behind my head. She's going to launch them at Dermot. Well, actually, one of them probably shouldn't be launched. But hang on. Right, ready, set, go.
Absolutely shot me. So I might open this right
So you are opening it live on camera. They're actually going to do something a little bit different. So Dermot's going to open it up. He's going to very quickly show you what it is, and then we're actually going to film something later, and we're going to show you in more detail all these jumpers up close. So
just quickly, or
just show the people what it is. So this one is a 2022 Clash Caleb Sarong match worn jumper. Now, it is signed, and I have to figure out how to get that off because it could become a serious pain in the ass. But love the Mordich. It's called Mordich. Mordich design on the side there. And, yeah, thank you, Dermot. That's beautiful. Look at that. Caleb Sarong, absolute gun of a player, and he's very young, and he will definitely be a captain of the footy club very soon, no doubt. He is heart and soul of Fremantle already, which is great. So now we're going to just show you a few more details of that nice and up and close so you can see it and look pretty. You don't have to do it, Dermot, because the people will be looking at the photos that we take later on. Something different we're doing. So we have another one. M's not going to throw it at you. He's got to pass it.
Right.
This one's in box. And this one, I'm going to admit, has been opened previously, but only very briefly to have a look at it. You get the honours, Dermot, of opening up and showing us.
Great.
So some people would have seen the new official memorabilia boxes that they've been sending out. They did have the old boxes where they open as like a book. These ones open from the top up or the bottom up. I don't know really what they call it, but super cool actually. I don't mind these boxes. They're pretty cool.
Oh,
there you go. That's all right. COA's gone.
That's really any good.
Yeah, well, exactly. And I'm going to read
Job.
that later as well because these COAs are getting worse. There we go. So this one is the 2022 Fremantle Dockers home Indigenous jumper worn against the Cats in round 10 and Carlton, which we don't talk about, in round 17. He has signed that jumper. You can take the jumper out as well if you like, Dermo, for a quick brief look, and then we'll have another good close look at it shortly as well. Now, these jumpers have been signed as well. Unfortunately, signed on the front, as you can see there, Dermo.
Yeah.
I hate that. I actually do not like that at all. I mean, the design looks great, and I suppose if people want to frame it, they may want to frame it front out, but then there are people like me who may, if we ever frame it, which we won't, may want to frame it back out because the number is of the player that I bought and spent a lot of money on. So it cost me $860 for this Luke Jackson jumper, which I was actually pretty happy with. We'll show you a bit more detail now. So $860 that cost me, and a little quick discussion on official memorabilia. A lot of the people did not know that this auction was actually happening. That was Mail Day, by the way. Thank you. That's all we have for Mail Day today. Thanks, Dermot, for doing a great job there. Now, actually, keep that COA you got there, Dermot, because most people didn't realise that official memorabilia were doing a free auction, and I didn't either until it happened. And a lot of people were not happy about it because official memorabilia have their ups and downs, let's say. Now, I will say they actually did our auction fairly well. and the price was actually the cheapest auction of the year, so I was not disappointed at all in the end. Now, if you want to read out that COA, Dermot, because this is a match-worn jumper. Now, the COA leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah. Yeah. So congratulations on securing your part of football history.
Into the microphone, probably a good idea.
Yes. On that, this authentic Fremantle jersey has been certificated by SE Products, the exclusive memorabilia license to the AFL, as have been worn by Luke Jackson during the 2023 AFL season. Personally signed by Jackson. He comes officially licensed by the Australian Football League and endorsed by the AFL Players Association for your peace of mind.
Yes. So a little bit spotty on their information. When was it worn? I mean, luckily he played both games, but there are some out there that just don't really say anything about being worn or being player issue because they just auction off all the jumpers, either a player issue or match worn. So that one thankfully does say worn, but it could also just say worn. He didn't play around 10 or 15 or 17, but he did, thankfully. But some players only played one of them. So, for instance, Sonny Walters, who wore a long sleeve round 17, didn't wear a long sleeve round 10, but his also says the same thing. So, the information on these COAs doesn't give you everything you probably want. Would be better if it said as worn against so and so, has been done in previous years. But then again, the club COAs they don't have a lot of information as far as when or worn either. So, what do you think about the COAs, Dermot? What weight do they hold for you? A COA, any COA in general?
Nothing.
Nothing.
To be honest, not really. They're all right. I quite like the older club ones. If anything, I actually hate these new ones because they're kind of indecisive of what's going on, and they don't really tell you much. But for some people, it means a lot. Yeah, but I actually don't really care about COAs at all.
Fair enough. What do you reckon, Tommy?
Well, so a few years ago, actually, I received a jumper, and I was very. COA said it was worn, and I was 99% sure it was out of the bag, PI, fresh as. I contacted the AFLPA in regards to it, and what I was told by them was their authentication is that there's only one signed one, and they're only authenticating the signature, not the match worn side of it. So, for me, the weight in them is 0. They're not worth what they're written on.
Yeah. Now, I kind of agree because I've seen the process and how that happens. So that the club essentially got the players to sign these jumpers and they box them up and they send them to SE Products. And it says on the this letter that they send to SE that this is legitimately worn, blah, 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 blah. And then that's what they go off. They then get these COAs made up afterwards. But they haven't actually seen it. So they weren't there when the jumpers come off the player. They weren't there when they got boxed up. They're on the other end, just getting given what they're given. Now, mine thankfully has a little stain on the back. So that for me says, all right, it's just been heavily washed, but luckily worn. There are some who are not as happy with theirs at all because some of them just say they look completely clean, not a mark on them. For me, that doesn't scream match worn. That screams, if you're lucky, it was worn. But it's so clean now that any sort of wear that it ever had is no longer existent. So the COAs to me don't mean shit because they weren't there when it happened. Now, there was a thing back in a few years ago where these books that they used to hand out, the AFLPA used to hand out, it would give you a process of what they used to do. And they used to be there in person. They'd have a representative in person watching the whole process. Now, that's gone by the wayside now. That does not happen. I've also seen what happens to the commission side of it. So it used to be the auction would happen and the player would get a certain percentage, the dollars that they would sell for. And I'd spoken to a couple of players about it. I said, I must be keeping you in business because I buy every one of your auction jumpers. And they're like, what do you mean? And, well, don't you get a percentage? No, we don't. So I've been wondering what the hell's been happening the last few years. I've seen what happened with this auction. The players, for their signing bonus, that what they get for doing it is they actually get the second jumper. Does that mean that was a match-worn second jumper? Does that mean it was a player issue? How do we know that we've got the match-worn and they've got the player issue, or vice versa? So not always is that player going to wear 2 jumpers either. So it's just a little bit spotty for me. It's still not quite right. And doing it, outsourcing it, doesn't help at all.
No, definitely not. I know a bloke that he got I won't name any names, but he bought a match-worn jumper that was worn. It was a long-sleeve jumper worn in the game, received a short sleeve. COA still states match-worn.
Mm-hmm.
He contacted the player, I think via Instagram. He must have had some talks with them prior to that. And they'd said, "Oh no, I've worn it around at training and stuff. We did a photo shoot in it."
Yeah,
and like I think he accepted that as his. That's what it was. But to me, that's poor. You shouldn't. That's not match worn.
No.
That's not.
No,
That's misleading.
no. We actually, the second episode of the Cave Sessions, we talked to Brett Attrell, who had the exact same situation where he bought James Sicily's long sleeve. Oh no, sorry, it was Wingard's long sleeve emergency services jumper, I think, which was his 2 out of the game, and he got sent a short sleeve. And the same thing, he asked questions, and Wingard said, "Yeah, I wore short sleeve or a long sleeve," but he did not. There was proof of that, and that's not true at all. Club more than likely told him to say that because they didn't want to get in trouble. Ended up being a big kerfuffle. He ended up getting a pretty good deal out of it in the end, so he did all right. But the club just blatantly lied about it, which I think is bullshit because it's almost fraudulent.
It is. It's definitely fraudulent. And people are spending big money on these jumpers too. They're not. It's not just a little bit of spare change or $100. Some of them, are thousands of dollars. And I know I'd be kicking up a real stink if it was one of mine. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we'll have to move it along a little bit. We got 20 odd minutes before Tommy's out of here, so we'll move on to viewer questions. Now, this is a pretty weird one because Em's not on the other side asking me, so I'm just going to ask the questions, and I'm going to ask you guys maybe potentially to help me answer them. Doug Slater wants to know, what is the perfect sandwich? Please discuss. So for me, perfect sandwich is a hard one because I go through phases. If it's pretty simple, just ham, cheese, and tomato. Keep it simple, but don't leave it too long because you don't want that bread to go soggy. Or a good cheese and mayonnaise, chicken and mayonnaise sandwich. That's it for me. Perfect for me.
Look, I've got to have my input here. Don't knock it before you try it, but peanut butter and tomato sandwich, you won't beat it.
Right.
Okay.
That is the perfect sandwich.
Peanut butter and tomato. All right, that's an interesting one. I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go.
Definitely good. Definitely good.
I wonder if Doug knows about that one. Damn it. What's yours?
Yeah, so I'm a big chicken, cheese, mayo, and spinach leaf fan at the moment. Spinach just makes me feel a little bit healthier.
All right.
But yeah, no, that's my perfect sandwich at the moment.
Fair enough.
Change.
Yeah, no doubt. Good question, Doug. When I say that you guys can ask me anything, a few of them have actually legitimately asked me anything on this one. So, and damn it, you'll also have a question very shortly.
Yeah.
Patrick Lawrence wants to know, what was your first player issue, match worn, Guernsey, and what got you into collecting? Now, I have mentioned it many, many times that mine was the 2014 David Mundy home jumper after the 2014 season. They were auctioning him off, and I got it for $80. That's what got me kick-started. And just the fact that I wanted a player issue jumper just because I wanted to own something that was on the field was what got me into collecting. What about you, Demo?
Yeah, so the Jet Adcock 2007 trainer, which I think was probably like $200 at the time. Just sort of more of an impulse buy probably, but yeah, that's what probably kicked it off.
Tommy?
Mine was 2013 Zane Zorko 3-peat jumper.
Nice.
Yeah, that was just an auction buy. It was quite cheap back in the day.
Yeah, sweet. Good way to start too. Now, this one's from Dermot McCagg.
Oh.
The man himself has asked, do you also have charger cords that last 2 weeks and then break?
Yeah, that's right.
Now, I don't, Dermot, because I'm not a cheap bastard.
Oh.
And working at JB's, well, I guess I am because I get them on discount, but working at JB Hi-Fi, I know to buy the more expensive braided cables because they do break. We do often get them back. so I do spend a little bit of money on my cables, but I still get probably 50% discount at least. So yes, Dermot, I have had them in the past, but I don't cheap out on my cables because they do break.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of advice,
Cheers. I'm gonna need it because been ripping through them, mate.
John Goodwin wants to know the best Hawthorn player who went to Freo. Now there's three options: Trent Crowe, Luke McFarlane, Ben Allen. And I'm going to say Luke McFarlane just because his career was such a long career, and he was very good forward and back for us. So, any input in there at all?
No, I think I'd probably agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is O'Meara too.
Yeah.
But,
thanks, Em, for the pickup there.
I suppose his career.
Oh, freaking Dermot's losing it.
Oh no, he's going to break the place.
Fix it up, Dermot. Too loud.
Quiet,
Dermot, sit down and be quiet. You're too loud, mate. Sorry, Tommy, I cut you off there.
Yeah, his career at Freo is probably not long enough yet to judge off, though. I think.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Dermot?
Yeah, we'll see how Amira plays out, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I mean he's 31 or something now, so he's not going to have a very long career for us. But Luke McFarlane was fantastic, so definitely for me that's the answer. Daniel Hill wants to know all-time favorite video game. I'm going to say it's a very difficult question, but probably WWE or WWF. I forgot the name of the game now, but Know Your Role. No, not Know Your Role. Here Comes the Pain. 2003, I think it was. 2003, Here Comes the Pain. Brock Lesnar on the front cover. Fantastic game. Can't beat it. Or No Mercy on Nintendo 64 was great as well. What do you reckon, Demo?
Yeah, Pokemon Red on the Game Boy at the moment. Yeah.
Tommy, you're a big games player, surely.
Pokemon, that's a good choice. Yeah. But for me, probably my favourite be Call of Duty Black Ops, the original. You can't beat Nuketown. It's just a great level to play.
Pokemon Snap, Nintendo 64 M-Sets. Also, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the first one was fantastic. Very good game. I think it was Call of Duty 4. Was that Modern Warfare?
I'm not sure there.
Yeah, good game, but very good. Thanks, Daniel. Great question. And then Alex Scott wants to know what your favorite WWE faction was. Can't go past Generation X for me. DX. Damn it, have you ever watched wrestling in your life?
Yeah, look, I used to have the 2011 WWE versus SmackDown or whatever it was on the Xbox 360. It was not bad, but wouldn't have a clue.
No clue. Tommy, any wrestling for you?
Not a lot of wrestling. Probably The Undertaker for me, though. I don't know. He's just always been the big bad guy.
I think The Undertaker's M's favorite as well, actually. So, yeah, fair enough. So, Ministry of Darkness would be the M's if she had any idea what that was, and probably yourself as well. Undertaker ran a faction in 1999. It was called the Ministry of Darkness. He ended up having Vince McMahon on his side as well for a little while. But anyway, thanks, Alex. We love your WWE questions. Keep them coming. And Matt Harvey just simply wants to wow, there's a lot of wants. Wants to know official memorabilia, why? We don't know, Matt. Unfortunately, it happened, but it actually worked out in our favour for the first auction, so we'll see what happens. The retro auction will be coming up very soon for Freo as well, but I have a feeling it may be back to the original format, so fingers crossed, but either way, I think it's going to go apeshit, that one. What do you guys reckon about official memorabilia as your auctioneers? I know you guys have them as well now, instead of being back on the club auction side.
Yeah. I think we've had them for a couple of years now. The club site's probably better, but at the end of the day, they're pretty much the same for us. Our club site's not much different to OM, so...
Other than the $29 shipping cost.
Yeah, obviously that, right. Yes, that's correct.
I won 2 auctions from official memorabilia on the same day, or 2 days apart from each other. It cost me $29 each for shipping. So $58 for shipping for 2 items. It's crazy. But anyway, it is what it is. And thank you very much for your questions. We are on to our last segment now before we close it off. And this is Dermot's favourite segment, I believe, because he asked about it at the very start of the show. You still do the wheel?
Yeah, we're going to do the wheel.
Score what's in the cave. So, Demo, we'll flick over to the wheel now.
Oh, here we go.
There it is on screen for you. So, this is something new as well. Dermot actually has a screen right in front of him, so he can see everything that's going on. We've never done that before. I was out here at 1 o'clock this morning setting it up. This is going to be M's new favourite toy. So, Demo.
Whoa.
It's a big wheel now.
It's huge.
Everyone can only see us on the screen still, but we can see the big wheel. All right. Tommy, what we do here is a bunch of numbers on this wheel. We spin it. Whatever number comes up, Dermo's going to get up, start counting. And once he pulls out the number of jumper that comes up with, we'll do a little bit of a chat about it and close off.
Oh, this is not even good. You can't even... Oh, no, hang on.
Speaking of Brett Attrell. Oh! John Carrio, congratulations, mate. I don't know what you win, but number 141. Damn it, are you sure you can count that high?
Yeah, look. I'll give it a red hot crack.
All right, so Demo's going to walk over to the cave, the cabinets. He's going to open up. He's going to start counting from 1 to 141. Pull that jumper out. We're going to have a quick chat about it. And then we're going to close it off for the day and say goodbye to Tommy and Demo. Off you go, Demo. We're going to definitely fast forward this because this may take a while. Good luck.
Half-time
Dermot is back. Well, Dermot's found jumper number 141, but we're going to quickly read out some feedback that we got from the last episode because he's run off to the toilet. So before we quickly have a look at the last jumper that's come out of What's in the Cave, we'll read Dave Causey's feedback from last week's episode. It simply was Troy Simmons played for Melbourne as well. I think I mentioned he played for Freo and Richmond. He also played for Melbourne and was also killed by Michael Long. Almost killed. Oh, jeez. Almost killed the poor man. Almost killed by Michael Long in the 2000 grand final. I don't remember that, but I'll have to look that up, I reckon. And he also loved the original toffee apple bar. So I'm not the only one, Em. That makes me very happy. I was not the only one to love the original toffee apple bar. Dermot's back. That was a quick toilet break, Dermot. This is it. This is our final segment for the day. Dermot, we just read out feedback from the last episode. There was only one. They can't work out how to get back to their seats, so that's rather entertaining. This is the jumper that's come up, number 141. Sorry that it's yet another Freo jumper, and it's actually really quite plain, but Domo's picked it out. This is a 2019 home jumper, signed by the great man himself, Sam Switkowski. We mentioned his name on the show before, very much like Mike Wazowski, but he's much smaller. Lovely bloke, Sam. He's an absolutely tremendous human being. The jumper is quite simply fairly plain, really. The difference between this one and the 2018 and previous years, simply on the back there, on the little pouch, the GPS pouch, is the Forever Freo logo, which if you pull right up to the camera there, Demo, you can see it a bit easier, is not just any random logo, but it's also the number 25, because it's the 25th year of the Fremantle Dockers was 2019. So just something a little bit special they did for that 1 year. So you'll only find them on those jumpers. So if you ever get a chance to get one, do so, because they'll become a little bit of a culty figure in the future. Yeah, spectacular. Thanks, Dermot, for showing up the What's in the Cave and being able to count to 141. That's it for the day. We have done it. We're actually done this in record time, I reckon, about an hour and 20 minutes. 7 minutes before Tommy has got to leave us to head back to his hometown, Melbourne. Quick 24-hour trip. How was it, Tommy?
Look, it's always good. I love Perth. It's a great city. only had one bad experience here, and look, I'll leave it at that. No, I could never live in the city, but Perth's one I could.
Now he's left us with a friggin' bombshell there. You've got time, Tommy. Surely. What happened? What was this one bad experience you had?
Oh, look, it was just last year when I came over.
Uh-oh.
Just a few drunks at the footy. I saw these blokes walking up the road, and they're just looking at me, staring me down, and they're like, "Oh, let's get him." So I walked across the road. That was the last I heard of them. I think they were
too lazy to follow.
Too drunk to stumble across the road. And yeah, no, that was it.
Typical. If you're at the footy and you see an opposition team player or supporter, and you've had a win, especially if you've had a win, because Freo won that game, am I right?
They did, yes, yep.
Freo won. That's all you need is a quick little jab on the way past. Haha, we're sucked in, whatever, we won. Don't be a dickhead at the footy, especially trying to pick on a bloke who's by himself and there's three of you tough C words. Don't be a dickhead.
Cousins.
Anyway, thanks for joining us, Tommy. I think you said you were a little bit shy and you weren't too sure that you were going to be much entertainment on the show, but you're great.
Yeah, good.
Did a great job. So thanks for joining us. Dermot, you're a disappointment.
Yeah, just sit down and be quiet. Yeah,
he's too loud.
Anything you want to say before we sign off, Dermo?
No, not really. Just keep collecting, I suppose.
Mm.
A lot of it.
Words of wisdom.
Yeah,
from Dermot McKay. Great hat, by the way. Yeah, fantastic.
OG.
Cheers for joining us, lads. I don't know if that was English, but cheers for joining us, lads. Tommy, hope you have a great trip back. Dermot, you've also got a long trip ahead of you. You probably got a longer trip than he does.
Yeah. That's tomorrow, probably not.
All right, that's going to do it for today. Thanks a lot again. We'll see you on episode 19. Thank you very much. See you later. Bye-bye.